During my time as a bridal stylist, I saw a lot. There were brides who got married on the beach and brides who got married in a forest. There was the bride who's getting married after only knowing her fiancé for 2 weeks. And there was the bride whose mother-in-law swore she'd pay for the dress and went back on her word when she didn't like the dress the bride had selected. I've laughed with my brides and I've cried with them, but mostly I stressed. Why? Because selecting the dress is one of the most important parts in planning for the bride, and therefore has to be the most important part for the stylist. There are 3 things to keep in mind for the bride and the stylist when selecting the perfect gown: the budget, the style, and the overall feel. Anyone who's seen an episode of TLC Say Yes to the Dress that takes place at Kleinfeld's in New York has seen the extravagant dresses that cost tens of thousands of dollars. However, a bride can find a dress in any budget. In 1947, the average cost of a wedding gown was $200. In 1974, it decreased a little to $195. Today, the average cost of a bridal gown is $1,564. With the budget, the most important thing to keep in mind is not selecting a gown over the bride's budget. If she falls in love with something she can't afford, then you're going to break her heart. When it comes to style, there's many things for a bride to choose, and styles have changed consistently over the years. Prior to Queen Victoria's 1840 wedding gowns weren't white. They were most often a dark green or navy or even black. It was the nicest gown that the bride had in her closet. Queen Victoria set the standard of having a white gown on her wedding. From 1840 then to 1930, gowns were extravagant. They had lots of lace, frills, long trains, and big veils. But with the Great Depression and World War II, gowns became simpler again. Again, the bride would choose something that she might have already had in her closet. With the economic boom of the mid-20th century, wedding gowns became extravagant again. For styles, a bride has a lot to select. She can choose a fuller style of a ball gown or an A-line. If you think of the dresses that Princess Kate and Princess Diana wore, those are ball gowns. If they want a thinner style, they can select a mermaid or a column dress. These are lightweight and hit closer to the body. A bride can also select a T-length style dress. These, depending on the designer, hit anywhere from between the ankle or above the ankle to below the knee. Brides can also play with color. While white and ivory are traditional and they signify purity, there is a big selection that a bride can choose. Red is usually cultural based, but you can also see a one-of-a-kind bride wearing red on her wedding day. Light pinks and blues have also become popular, and they symbolize femininity. Recently, black has come into vogue, and you'll see it on the trend-setting bride. The most important thing with the style is selecting the right style for the venue. It's very uncommon to see a bride wearing a ball gown if she's having a beach wedding, as the ball gown would become bogged down with sand and water. If she's getting married on the beach, then she'll probably be wearing a mermaid or column style dress. If a bride's wearing a ball gown, it's more common for a church setting or a banquet hall. A T-length dress is common for a bride getting married in a fun setting like Las Vegas or Atlantic City. The overall feeling is, in my opinion, the most important thing when selecting the wedding gown. I always start the appointment by having the bride select 3 adjectives for how she wants to feel on her wedding day. I've heard everything from beautiful, classy, and elegant to sexy and even like a gypsy. When the bride is in the dress, I will ask her if she feels that these words embody the dress that she's in. If she says no, then that's not the dress for her. I also have the bride rate the dress on a scale from 1 to 10. 1 is, get me out of this right now, and 10 is, I can see myself walking down the aisle on the wedding day. For the bride to know it's the right dress, you can usually tell because she's doing the bridal pat, which is where she is running her fingers over the fabric and turning to see herself from every angle. Also, if the bride can envision herself on her wedding day, that's a good sign that she's in the dress that she wants to wear on her wedding day. But the thing that always tells me that the bride has found her gown is when she doesn't care what anyone else thinks. She feels beautiful in it. Brides don't spend a long time in their dress. They have a few fittings leading up to the wedding, maybe some bridal portraits, and then a couple hours on the day of the wedding. But as you can see, the bridal gown is an important piece in the wedding day. If it does not fit her budget, her style, and make her feel like the beautiful bride she is, then she'll regret getting that dress. But if it can meet all of these criteria, it's one less worry she has for her wedding day. Just close to 6 minutes.